Hi, this is my new podcast. I'm freaking out, but I'm so excited. Welcome to Lala Land. I'm your host, Lex, and this podcast is me finally giving myself permission to say all of the things I've always wanted to say. I hope by listening that you feel empowered to just be you and do what you want. Sit back, relax, you're in Lala Land. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Lala Land with Lex. I'm your host, Lex, and I'm just so freaking glad you're here. I am recording this on a Monday. It's going up on Wednesday. Wednesday is our day. In case you didn't know yet, I feel like last week might have been a little confusing because we dropped quite a few episodes. I just wanted to give you enough to just really catch the vibe, to really understand what I'm doing here, So anyways, Wednesdays will be our new episode drop day for now. Maybe eventually I'll start doing more, but I'm not going to lie. That feels really hard because this last week, doing one a week sounded like fine. I'm like, oh yeah, one a week, blah, blah, blah. That's super chill, no worries. That week went by so fast, and I swear I just recorded an episode yesterday, and so now I'm sitting down and I'm like, what should I talk about? It just went by so fast. Anyways, so it's a Monday. It's a Monday morning. I'm in my office at my warehouse, and I'm just trying to pump myself up. And a secret about me is if I'm trying to pump myself up to the point where it's, I need the help. She's not doing well today. I listen to Alanis Morissette, especially the song Ironic. Isn't it ironic? Don't you think? It's like rain on your wedding day. It's a free ride when you've already paid. Anyways, I don't know why, but Alanis pumps me up, you guys. And it's so funny because I remember one of my very first memories of my life is driving around in my parents' Subaru when I was in preschool, sitting in the back seat, looking out the window, listening to Alanis Morissette. I was in preschool. I was 4 or 5 or something. I was probably 4. And I just think that is so wild. And I also remember looking out the window, just thinking my life was I was in a show or something, in a movie, just looking out the window, listening to Alanis Morissette. You know how that's a thing. Anyways, it's gray skies. It's a Monday. I have a headache. I don't know why. So I've just been pumping myself up. But the good news is I feel amazing, and Alanis always gets the job done. Anyways, I'm so happy you're here. I'm so happy you're listening. I'm just still blown away that you guys are loving the pod so much, and it makes me so happy. I'm not gonna lie, it does make me feel a little bit of pressure to make sure that I can keep it just as juicy, but we're gonna figure it out as we go. And I think the thing is, this is what I kept reading over and over in your guys' reviews was this podcast just feels like listening to your bestie, chatting or having a conversation. Why can't I talk? Having a convo with your bestie, or it feels like hanging out and having a casual, fun conversation with your best friend. I read that over and over again, and that is the best compliment you could give me, because that's what I want this to feel like. I want it to feel like you're in Lala Land with me. We're just chatting, we're chilling, we're talking about things. And I know that I'm not giving a TED talk. I know that I'm not changing anybody's life, but I do want you to listen to this and then walk away feeling good. Not inspired to take on the world, but just good. That's how I want it to feel. Because I feel like there's so many things right now that we consume that you walk away feeling kind of drained, or maybe like your battery is like less than it was when you started, or like your battery meaning like you, like it drains you, or negative straight up. Like there's a lot of negative content out there. And I just don't want to add to that. I want to make you feel better. I want that you to finish the episode and be like, all right, let's go. So thank you. I just want it to feel like you're like chatting with your best friend. And you know how sometimes when you aren't feeling so good, or you're not feeling confident, or you don't know if you look cute in your outfit, your best friend like pumps you up and reminds you that like you're a bad bitch. I want to be the friend that reminds you that you're a bad bitch. So that's what we're doing here. And I hope that you listen to this podcast and walk away feeling like a baddie. All right. I also just kind of along those terms. This is a kind of random thing, but do you guys feel like when I think we're all kind of like in the same boat of life. Most of us are in our like late 20s, early 30s, mid 30s. Maybe we have kids, maybe we own a business, maybe I don't know. Like we're into fashion. I feel like we have all those things in common, or some of those things, right? This is what happened to me. So Matt and I got married. This year will be our 9-year anniversary, which is kind of crazy. But when we got married, it was like, as soon as we got married, I kind of was like, okay, who am I? Like, it didn't change that much, but just, I think gaining like a new, title or role just kind of was like interesting. I was kind of like, okay, like I'm a wife now. Like, what does a wife do? You know, things like that. And I remember feeling kind of silly posting selfies or whatever, and like not like a sexy like snatched face selfie. That's not what I'm talking about when I say selfie. What I mean is just like a picture of yourself. You know how like you go on a vacation and you plan all these cute outfits and you take a cute picture somewhere or whatever and you want to post it, or not. Maybe it's even just like, maybe it is a sexy snatched selfie of your face in front of a window with really good light or whatever, trying this new makeup you love or something. It doesn't matter what it is, but that's what I mean when I say like a selfie, just a picture of yourself. And I remember I felt a little bit weird when we got married, and then I kind of got over it. Especially that was like the time of me kind of fashion blogging, I guess. So I did post pictures of myself, but the next time I really felt that come on was when I had my son. I just remember being like, okay, moms, and this is just like a dumb subconscious belief I have that I picked up somewhere along the way. That's why I'm curious if you guys ever felt the same way, or you feel the same way currently. But it was like, moms don't post selfies. Like once you're a mom, like you don't post pictures of yourself. That's just like weird. It makes you, I don't know, like it makes you look like you're obsessed with yourself, whatever. And I remember like you can go look at my Instagram feed, and like I think I just was kind of like Aussie. And that's what life was like at that time too. It's like you have a baby and that becomes your whole life. But I just remember like feeling dumb posting a picture of myself or of me doing something once I had a kid, because it felt like that was like my focus now. But my journey in the last year or whatever and into this podcast, and I just want to remind you and myself that at the end of the day, this is your life. Like, it's not your kid's life. It's not your husband's life. It's not your mom's life or whatever. It's literally just your life. And I think especially in motherhood, we get so wrapped up in our kids because it is all consuming. You know what I mean? They become our life, but we get so wrapped up that we forget to be our own person. We forget that we even are a person, and not just all these roles that we take on. And you see this happen all the time, where the parents or, you know, the mom and dad, their kids, they focus on their kids for 20 years or whatever, straight 20, 30 years. And then their kids grow up and move out for college, or, you know, they move out and the parents are kind of like, like now what? Because their life has been fully their children for so long that they kind of forgot who they are and what they like and how they want to live their life. And this actually happened with my parents. Like, I mean, this is part of it, I feel like, but they got divorced last year. And I feel like that kind of was like, you just get to a point where you're like, I'm a person and now I'm going to live my life. And sometimes they don't know how to do that. So this is just your reminder to live your life now. And not to say that like you shouldn't like lean into those roles. Of course, you're all those things, but at the end of the day, you're you. And at the end of your life, you're you. And so this is your permission to post the damn selfie. Post whatever. Anything that makes you happy, do it. Don't hold back out of fear or out of like this reasoning or these fake made up rules or beliefs that you can't do something. It's not real. I think it's so interesting too, because I actually bought this cute little coffee table book at a gift shop in Palm Springs a couple months ago. And I think it's called something like Advice to My Younger Self. And you know how you hear those interviews or people will ask people on their deathbed, like, what is something you would tell your younger self, or what advice do you have? And I feel like over and over again, it's constantly spend more time with your loved ones, tell people you love them, but also like do more of what makes you happy, or do that thing you always wanted to do, have more fun. And some of the things in this book, they were all along those lines, I feel like, but there were ones that were like, wear the swimsuit. Don't worry about the number in your bank account so much. Don't spend your whole life working, things like that. And I just think it's so interesting because we hear these same things over and over and over again. Yet we forget that that's what life's all about. So this is your reminder before you get to your deathbed, way before, to do it now. Don't get to the end and wish you did those things, you know? And I think that's kind of what this whole podcast is for me too. It's just a reminder. It's helping more than anything me remind myself what I believe and what I want to do. And I think it's going to be really good for me. So I also, on the last episode, I talked about I'm giving away some of the new podcast crew necks. They're so cute if you haven't seen them. They're super oversized and comfy. If you get the crew necks from Dressed in Lala, it's the same ones. They're comfy, perfectly oversized fit. And this one is like a kind of like a vintage looking heather gray. And the front says doing whatever I want. And it has stars down each sleeve. And then the back, like so big, says let me live. And it's just what I wanted to drop to kick off the pod. So I'm giving away those. I'm giving away 10. If you left a review, listen until the end. And if I read your username out for your review, then DM me and we will send you a crew neck. DM me your address, your username. Well, yeah, your username in case it's different on the podcast app, and what size you want. They come in 2 sizes. Or if you just want one because they're freaking cute, then head over to my website, dressedinlala.com, and it's there. It says Lala Land with Lex podcast crew neck. It's so cute. So just a few life updates currently. It is Monday. I already said that. But this Friday, I am going to the Taylor Swift concert in Las Vegas. And I'm so excited. It's so crazy. It's already almost here. I'm such a Swiftie. Back to the things that people say are overrated. Taylor Swift, she's the queen of everything. And if you think she's overrated, you clearly haven't tapped into your happiest self, because Taylor Swift is everything. But I'm so excited. I saw some people's stories from the 2 Arizona shows over the weekend, and it just looked like everybody it was like people were saying one of the best nights of my life. People that were up close, people that were in the nosebleeds. Like, it looks like it's just such a magical show. Also, she's singing 44 songs in this concert, and supposedly it's like around 3 hours long. How? That's something too. Taylor is so talented. 44 songs. Like, at the end of a concert, I'm like so tired. Like, me attending a concert, I'm like exhausted. My feet hurt. Like, try performing 44 songs for 3 hours straight, twice a week, or however many times from now, March, until August. That's insane to me. Anyways, I'm so excited. I'll definitely fill you guys in on how it goes. I'm kind of freaking out about what I'm going to wear because I just feel like it's like everyone is planning their outfits. You're supposed to choose a Taylor era because it's the Eras tour. So I think I don't know. I ordered something last night. I feel like all of Lala is Taylor, but it just feels fun for me to buy something new and wear it for the first time or whatever. So I bought a couple things last night on Shopbop. A couple things on Shopbop that we'll see if they work. So one of them's very sparkly. I'll let you guys know. And this is just random, but this last weekend, and it's getting finished this week, but we're having our whole kitchen, all of our cabinets painted green. It's like a bright emeraldy green, and I'm really excited, except for it was just so that he started painting on Friday, and the paint smell was insane all weekend, like so strong, because we're living in our house while they're doing it. So that was just kind of intense. But as soon as he started like pulling down all the prepping things and everything on Friday, and like I saw what it's gonna look like, kind of, I was like, this is so worth it. It's so cool, you guys. And I think I've kind of like been on this thing where I'm like, people always tell you when you have a house, like you need to make sure you're like putting more value into it when you're changing things or updating things, and think of the next seller or the next buyers and what they're going to want or whatever. And so I feel like that's in my last house. I had all white cabinets, which was also kind of the vibe at the time. But I am finally just like, I don't care if all white cabinets make my kitchen look bigger or is better for resale or whatever. I'm just going to paint my kitchen all green. And I want it to feel moody. And if it feels smaller, that sounds fun. Like a moody, like close, yummy kitchen. I'm just excited. So I'll definitely like post some videos on my Instagram when it's all done. And also we also have like a white countertop in there from the previous owners. And we recently bought this jade kind of stone. It's like green, light green. It has like swirls of like almost burgundy in it and white, and it's really cool. We got it for one of our bathrooms that we were remodeling, and to use it we had to buy the whole slab, which I didn't realize how much that was, and so we have a ton left. And so I also think I'm leaning towards replacing all the white counters in our kitchen with this light green jade stone also. So it feels a little intense, but like imagine Lala and the clothes and the colors and the just boldness, and then picture that in like house form, because that's exactly like my house decor. I'm so into like eclectic, and I don't like lots of clutter and like lots of stuff, but just very like eclectic. And I like juxtaposition of things, which is also like one of my styling tips, is like if you're gonna wear something like if you're gonna wear like a feminine outfit, then pair it with masculine shoes. Or if you're gonna wear a masculine outfit, pair it with like feminine accessories and makeup and things. Like that's kind of my house style. So you'll see something kind of wild paired with something not so wild or whatever. Or things you might think that don't go together. I put them together, and it's just fun. Life's too short to not decorate your house however the freak you want and stop thinking about resale value. I'm over it. It's such a waste of our time and energy. Also, like, where was everyone like 2 years ago when houses were like, or last year, houses were out of control. Everything was so expensive. The most hideous houses, I know because we bought our house last year around this time. the most hideous houses or like super outdated or nasty houses were like selling so fast. Like something would hit the market and be gone by the end of the day. It was insane. And I remember we would go look at houses. You had to be looking constantly because things would get snatched up so fast. So we would see something pop up and then go look at it. And one of the houses specifically, I remember like walking in, they did not clean at all. They didn't, and by clean, I mean, they didn't even pick up. There was like shoes in the hallway, like cat food in the, like in the entry. The house smelled how you would imagine and this was like a big house. I mean, it was like a big, nice house with a big backyard. It wasn't huge, but it was probably like 6,000, 7,000 square feet. I don't know. You walked in and it smelt how you would imagine a dorm to smell, like a boys' dorm, like dirty laundry smell. And I was just like, what is going on? Like, but that was just what was happening. It was like it was the opposite of normal. Like you didn't even have to hardly try. We didn't get that house. It was nasty. And I actually think it did stay on the market longer than others, but yeah, it was just crazy. So don't worry about that stuff. Cause I think also like, that's just kind of like a scarcity energy where who's to say someone who has style just like you, who appreciates cool, unique things isn't going to come and that's going to make them, I have a hair on my lip. And that's going to make them want to buy your house even more and maybe even pay more than you expected because they're so obsessed with it. How about we think that way? All right. Anyways, you guys. So yeah, all of that to say I painted my kitchen cabinets green. I'm really excited about it. We also so the house we bought, just to like get into it a little more, the house we bought last year was built in 2007. So like it wasn't a new house. It had updates done to it. Since then, everything was really like fresh. Like they had painted the kitchen cabinets white, gotten white marble. Like the master bath is like stunning. Like it's a lot of like light colored marble and a big shower and then also this is the reason why I like am so obsessed with my house is the previous owner had taken a bedroom that's like off the master bath and turned it into the closet. So you come out of my bathroom and into our closet and it's the size of a whole room plus the old closet. I have an island in there. I have like beautiful like shoe shelves where you can see everything. Like that's when I was sold on the house. When I walked in and saw that, I was just like, ugh. And our realtor was my husband's best friend. And he's like, act normal. Like, don't freak out. If you love something, just keep a straight face. You got to play it cool. And I was just like, oh, I need this closet. Anyways, so there had been some things that were updated and there were some things that weren't. Like most of the bathrooms were outdated besides the master. The floor was like really dark wood, which I actually thought it was pretty. It was fine. It was very like traditional looking, but there were parts of it that were just kind of like, I don't even know. Like there were some scratches and there was like this one part that kind of had come up and it hurt if you stepped on it, just things like that. So we actually just had all the flooring redone about a month ago also. And so I have like a lot lighter floors. So anyways, I'm just really excited to see the dark moody cabinets with my lighter wood floor. I think it's going to look really pretty. So yeah, I can talk more about the house and buying process and all that stuff if you guys care about it, but I don't know if that even sounds fun. I have had people ask about it though. So I've just had people ask about like my interior design taste and things like that. So pop culture right now is kind of boring. I was like just making sure I hadn't missed anything before I recorded this. And this is how slow the pop culture news is right now. There was a story today that was about Rick Ross. And I guess he owns like 200 acres of land in Wyoming or something. Was it Wyoming? I'm not sure even. But he has his own bison that roam his land. And now I don't even want to tell you. Rick Ross, my pet bison, mean no harm. Feed him fruits and veggies. Oh my gosh. Oh, it doesn't even say where this place is. Fayetteville Estate. Anyways, the story is about how he has pet bison, and one of his neighbors is super annoyed because he lets them just roam like a stray cat, except it's like a stray bison. And they have come onto his neighbor's yard and like been ruining their yard, and so they're super upset. And this is what he said to his neighbors. He said he reminded them to like be courteous, and that they're actually really sweet and gentle creatures. You can even feed them a carrot if you want. They accept carrots if you put your hand out. It's just like, this is how slow news is right now. Rick Ross, go off, King. The only other story I saw break was Kylie and Travis Scott finally legally went to change their son's name to Aire, Aire. It was this whole drama where when he was born, Kylie announced his name as Wolf Webster, and then later she had posted, like a month or so later, posted and was like, we actually felt like that wasn't his name, so we're going to be changing it. And so everyone was like on their freaking toes. Is that a word? They were on their toes? Why does that sound so weird? Everyone was just like on the edge of their seat. I think that's what I meant. And I said, toes? What? Am I insane? Everyone was on their edge of the seat for the last year, wondering what they were going to name their son. It was such a thing where people were just like waiting for so long and had built it up so high that when she did is she randomly posted a carousel of pictures of him with his name. And it was kind of just like funny because everyone was like, what is it? How is she going to announce it? Blah, blah, blah. And then it was just like, oh, here it is. A post on my Instagram. But she announced that his name was Aire, which I think is like a fine Kardashian name at this point. Like, you don't really know what you can expect from them. But she has her daughter Stormy, and his name is Aire, Aire. So people, when she announced, they were speculating that it was like, because Kylie is supposed to be one of the youngest billionaires ever of all time. And so people are saying Aire is like a play on billionaire, especially the way she spelled it. But who knows? I think it could be a few things that kind of went into it. But so that's that. But also, just now that I'm talking about the Kardashians, I did see last week that Khloe gave Tristan a really sweet birthday shout out. And the pictures, she also posted pictures of her son for the first time. So it's her and Tristan's son. She hasn't shown his face up until this point. He's so cute. Both him and Kylie's babies are so cute. Both the boys. All the Kardashians have ended up having really cute kids. Super cute. I think Kim's kids are the cutest. I am like obsessed. Those little boys are so cute. And Chicago is like stunning. What do you guys think about North? Do you think she's annoying? I thought she was annoying on TikTok because you know how she does all her videos, North and Kim. I thought she was annoying until I saw the cutest video of her with her two youngest siblings. So Chicago and Psalm. That's the baby boy's name. He's not a baby anymore. I saw a video of her like cooking with them, and it was so cute. They were like making ice cream or something, and the way she spoke with them and was like just helping them, I was like, she's a good sister. Respect. You got to respect those firstborn daughters. You know what I mean? They carry the weight of the world on their shoulders. Anyways, I just thought it was really cute. But Khloe gave Tristan this really sweet birthday shout out, and I think everyone's just like, and then someone close to the family came out and said that they've actually been dating for like 2 to 3 months, which we all know Tristan has cheated on Khloe how many times, and she's taken him back and then not, and it's just been like years of going back and forth, which I think we're all annoyed. And it's like Khloe's like one of our friends, and we're just like over it to the point where we hate him, you know. But I know that his mom died a few months ago, and Khloe was really close with his family, and his mom dying, I'm pretty sure it was just kind of like a tragic out of the blue thing. But he has a little brother who's special needs, who's still pretty young. And I think it probably just like rattled the whole family. And she took care of the younger brother, like she was his caretaker. So I remember Chloe posted something about her passing away and just said, like, I promise to watch over your sons. And I don't know, like, I feel like it's just death changes people. And it reminds them, most of the time, it reminds them what's most important. So I feel like we can't really judge on this situation right now because they're probably both grieving, and maybe Tristan really has changed. Who knows? But at this point, it's Chloe's life. We just got to let her live her life and do what makes her happy. And as her besties were like, but is it going to make you happy? But whatever, we just want everyone to be happy. And that's really sad. It's really sad that his mom passed away. I wish I knew how she died, but I don't remember. I'm sorry. Anyways, other than those stories, pop culture moments I thought I could share with you, which is like one of the most exciting things to ever happen to me, is recently within the last 4 months, there's been like a handful of celebrities wearing Lala that like I did not set up on my own. Like I didn't make this happen. It just happened organically, which I think is crazy. I think it's crazy to think about the fact that, number one, celebrities sit on social media at night in their beds or whatever, just like we do. That's weird to me to think about, because I'm assuming most of these people have found Dressed in Lala through ads. I've invested a lot of our marketing budget, all of our marketing budget, essentially into running ads for the last year and a half. And it's been so crazy because that's something that I think is weird to think about also, is celebrities see ads. Like when they're scrolling social media, they see ads just like we see ads. They might get annoyed at ads just like we get annoyed at ads. But it's been wild because around Christmas was like the first craziest one. People were sending me, Kate Beckinsale had posted on Instagram in her private jet. She was flying somewhere and she had her cat with her. So I guess she's like a cat lady, which cat ladies like go hard. Like people who love their cats go hard. But she had her cat with her and she was in her private jet and she was wearing one of my satin sets that has cats on it. And it was the craziest thing I've ever seen. Like it was like a carousel of pictures where you could fully see it. And like, I don't know how she would have found my brand except for Instagram. So that's crazy. Angela Bassett, like, are you kidding me? So I guess her assistant loves Lala, which is so awesome. And she messaged or emailed me and was like, hey, I'm Angela Bassett's assistant. I'm constantly wearing Lala. And she's always commenting on it, asking where I got it. And I just thought I would pass this along because it's cool. She's like so obsessed with your clothes. And so I was like, oh my gosh, let me send her. I want to send her a package. Like I'll send her anything she wants. Like, does she want my house? Does she want my son? Like, just kidding. But like, are you kidding me? And so I ended up sending her a huge package of just tons of Lala originals that I've designed. And so kind. She wrote back a whole thank you note on this like stunning stationery. It's like the thickest paper I've ever felt. It has like metallic on it. And I actually have it sitting over on display in my office, but it's like so nice. Like I am probably the worst person in the world at writing a thank you note. I didn't even send thank you notes after our wedding. I mean, I don't know who does. That's like a lot of work, but I always have good intentions to send a thank you note. And I don't know if I ever have. And the fact that Angela Bassett, one of like the biggest actresses right now, took the time to write me a thank you note. And it's not just like thank you. It's like a full card of her writing. So nice. Recently with all the Vanderpump Rules drama, I wish I was a Vanderpump girl. Like I haven't watched it and now I'm having FOMO. I mean, I think I watched the first season or so I know who everyone is, but I'm having FOMO now because I wish I was like up to date. So now I'm like asking everyone who watches it. I'm like, okay, should I start it? Where should I start it? Do I have to go back to the beginning? So if you think I should start it at this point, where should I start it? Do I have to watch all of it? Anyways, so Katie Maloney from Vanderpump Rules. There was the whole drama just barely with the Scandival. And I'm sure you guys know, if you haven't heard, who hasn't talked about it, but there's a couple on the show that they've been together for a really long time. And I believe it's Tom and Ariana, and they even live together, all this stuff. And he, I guess, has been cheating on her for a while now behind her back with someone else, another cast member on the show. And I think her name is Raquel. And Raquel is really good friends with Ariana. So it's all just like really messed up and people are freaking out. It just like, it came out like in real time just recently. But anyways, Katie Maloney is someone on the cast who's been on for a long time. And she posted on her stories kind of like backing up Ariana. It said hashtag Team Ariana wearing one of my sets. This was just like a couple weeks ago. So that was crazy. And everyone was sending it to me. It was like probably the best story for like eyes seeing her stories, people seeing it, for her to be wearing Lala. Like so many people saw that story. It's so crazy. And then there's been a few other ones, but last night was the most recent one that blew my mind. Kaylee Kuko from The Big Bang Theory, she placed an order. Like one of my, Paula is her name. She's my Lord and Savior. She's my design assistant / helps me handle up the production of Lala. But she sent it to me and was like, Kaylee Kuko just placed an order. And it was her. Like we looked it up and it was her. And I just think it's the craziest thing. So this year, that's something I'm focusing on manifesting more of, is celebrities and Lala. And you know what they say about manifesting is you have to get so specific. So I'm going to get so specific. I'm going to decide exactly who I want to see Lala exactly who I want to see in Lala. And I'm going to make that happen this year. Speaking of manifesting, that was something that came up when I had been asking you guys like what you want to hear more of. You weren't saying teach us about manifesting. No one said that. But a lot of you were saying like, tell us about your life. How did you create this dream life? How did you create your dream business? How did you grow Lala to what it is? And obviously it's a lot of hard work. But something I did want to talk to you about is, even if you don't have a business, just in life, I think something that is so powerful is manifestation and like creating a really clear picture in your head of what you want your life to look like, whatever that is. And that, something that's crazy about that is supposedly our self-conscious mind, our subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between what is real and what isn't, what is reality and what isn't. And so that's why manifestation and meditation and visualization are so important and powerful, because our subconscious mind doesn't know the difference. So for me, I'm always like, well, then I'm going to go balls to the wall and like dream my biggest life, because my mind is going to think that that's possible because it doesn't know any different. And it's so powerful. I remember in the beginning of Lala, right after I had gotten fired. So I got fired from my corporate job for starting Lala. I don't know if I've talked about that. I think I mentioned it. That's a whole story and it was really traumatic and all this stuff. But I remember in the beginning, I started listening to business podcasts and reading business books or listening to them on Audible while I would pack packages or orders. And something that I kept hearing and reading and seeing over and over that all of these different people and just successful people had in common was they were all talking about meditating and manifesting, along with all of their other work ethic and how they got to where they were. But those were consistent. And I was so turned off by that idea of anything like spiritual or woo-woo, because my boss that had just fired me, who honestly wasn't that great of a person, she was very like woo-woo. And so to me, I was just like, no thanks. Like oh my gosh, you guys, I am struggle bus with all of this like technology. I just realized that My video camera recording me for YouTube has not been running for as long as I can tell. I was like straight up thinking I was recording and it just said standby and I realized it like 40 minutes in. So anyways, I just had to fix that. So I'm sorry if you're trying to watch on YouTube. I promise I'll eventually get it down. I just don't have a promise as to when because I keep messing stuff up. Anyways, so I didn't want to try to get into this. Like, I was just like hesitant to get into this woo-woo stuff because of my old boss just kind of being like, I felt like she was kind of like a fraud. And anyway, so I remember I started meditating. I started kind of like leaning into, I think I started just by doing like these 10 or 15 minute meditations that I would find on YouTube. And I would like type in specific things like money meditation or abundance meditation or just things like that to try to like, start making money and start doing things, start like leaning into like abundance and things like that for Lala because I was just starting out. And it seriously, like within a week or two, I noticed a huge difference. And this is what I noticed is that I was in such a better headspace, especially in the beginning of a business. And I've kind of talked about this, but you are just constantly like trying to figure it out. You're looking at what everyone else is doing. You're instead of like looking straight ahead and focusing on your end goal and how you're going to get there, you get distracted trying to like look at what everyone else is doing and watch what everyone else is doing. And should I do that? Is that how you are successful? And I noticed that me just focusing on meditating for those even just the first couple weeks, I was so much more calm. I had a lot less anxiety, but I also just started feeling so much more positive, just to put it like super simple. I just felt so much more positive. And I mean, our brain is like the most powerful thing. And like I said, whatever we tell it, it believes. And so I think just taking a minute, because life is so crazy and we're just like go, go, go all the time. It's so wild when you actually sit still without your phone, without distraction, without the TV in the background or music on. It's so crazy how uncomfortable it can feel. You know what I mean? Like, I think our first reaction when we're bored or we have a spare second or whatever is to grab your phone. Turn on a show. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's just like we aren't used to sitting alone with our own thoughts. And so doing that and then like being led through this meditation that I was doing, which I'm happy to share. I will post it in the show notes. It's by our king, Bob Proctor. But I noticed doing this it made me feel confident and calm and positive. And it was like I started believing that certain things were possible that felt like impossible. And then this just kind of leads into vision boards. I just think it's so, like I said, our subconscious doesn't know what's real and what's not. And so vision boards can be really powerful. And even you can just call it like a mood board, or it doesn't have to be like this big crazy thing. But seeing something visually like every day that you walk past is so powerful. So I started making vision boards and putting what my goal was for the year, my number goal. I would put like how many followers I wanted to have. And you can do cute things. Like my friend Kinsey would print out take her Instagram feed and then change the follower number to like what her goal was. And so you see it and you feel like it's doable. It's easy. I remember I started setting the password on my phone to what I wanted my daily number to be, and like dollar wise, just things like that, like surrounding yourself with these goals. And the more you see it, the more you're around it, the easier and more doable it feels. And I'm serious. Like, this doesn't have to be a business thing. I think a vision board is so powerful because you can put a picture of like exactly what you are working towards or what you want in your life, or you can put pictures or words or things that like embody the feeling that you want to feel. So if you're trying to take better care of yourself or be healthier or whatever, you could put like a girl who's drinking green juice or something like that. Or if you want a G-Wagon, you can just put a straight up G-Wagon. I think it's just, I noticed too when I started doing this that I felt like I needed to dream like realistically. Like, what's realistic? You know, like, okay, it'd be cool to have a Jeep. Like, I really want a G-Wagon, but I'll just put a Jeep because that feels more doable within the next couple of years. But I think you gotta go for it. So that's something that I'm constantly reminding myself. Like when I'm like, okay, it would be really cool to achieve this or do this. And then it's like bigger, because the universe doesn't know a difference in, just like our subconscious mind doesn't know the difference. $10 versus $10,000. It's no different. And so just don't be afraid to dream big. Don't hold yourself back. Put those big things on your vision board and look at them every day, because just like we become desensitized to other things, we can become desensitized in like a positive way where it just feels like, oh yeah, like that's just something I'm going to get someday. And I definitely plan on doing, maybe next week's episode, I'll do like the beginnings of Lala, because I think it's easy to see a business or a person or whoever we're looking at and assume that they are like an overnight success. Like they just got lucky and that just worked out for them. But what you don't see is the not glamorous stuff that no one's sharing, the beginning of your business where you're crying because no one bought the thing that you launched, or because you don't know if you'll ever be able to turn this into something real or big or whatever the thing is. And so I really want to get into the nitty gritty of the beginnings of Lala and what that looked like and felt like and what I was doing. But like I've said, I started on a $3,000 credit card. We lived in an 800 square foot townhome that we actually bought, which it's like crazy to think about. But even how long ago was that? 7 years ago, we got that townhome for like $115,000, which felt like so much at the time, because it was like we were young and like just graduating. I was just graduating college. Matt was still in college, but it literally looked like it was falling over. Like it was so old, and anyone who like knows me and saw it can like attest to this, but like it was so old. It looked like it was falling over. We hardly had any space in there. Our neighborhood was like a little bit scary. Like I said, I was in debt to start my business. I couldn't afford a photographer. Matt would go out and take pictures of me on my iPhone, and then I would like yell at him because he would like get fugly angles. Like it was like the epitome of the beginning. Like it's like, that's where I was. I literally, when people say started from the bottom, like I started from the bottom. I didn't come from money. Like my parents, we were like a middle class family. Like we were fine and we were able to do things that we really wanted to do, or, you know, things like that. But like, I didn't come from money. So I started literally from the bottom. And it's so crazy because back then, if you would have told me in 6 years, your business will be so big that you have 30 employees, you have a 6,000 square foot warehouse, you live in a beautiful home that you're obsessed with, you can afford to pay someone to paint your cabinets on a whim, you get to spend a lot of time with your son, and this one is really cool, and I'm going to get into it when it's actually official, but your brand that you just started is going to be sold in one of the biggest online retailers, one of the biggest retailers really soon. So that's kind of like a sneak peek at something coming soon. But if you would have told me all those things 6 years ago, I would have been like, LOL, you know, like this thing I have right here is going to be that. But it's so insane what can happen in just a few years. With consistency, with staying abundant and believing things are possible and constantly working towards those things, you guys, like anything is possible. So I just wanted to kind of talk about that as a beginning to people kind of asking, how did you get this dream business? How did you get this life? I'm going to get into the nitty gritty of the day-to-day like tasks and things I actually did, because manifestation and visualization, those things don't work You can't just like sit on your couch and then be like, I'm going to manifest this. And then it just like pops up in front of you. You have to put in the work. But I think the manifestation side of just believing that something's possible and just training our brains to also believe that it's possible, that's a huge part of being able to build something, or build just a beautiful life or your dream life. Abundance is huge for me. And when I say abundance, I mean, I think probably a ton of us grew up in like a scarcity household, money scarcity mindset household. Like our parents were always saying like money doesn't grow on trees and blah, 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 like things like that. Like that's scarcity, believing that there's not enough money for all the things. And obviously everyone is just doing their best. I feel like we all know a lot more now, but just that abundance mindset of there's enough for everyone. There's enough for me. Like I can create anything. I can do anything. Just that belief that there's always enough. There's always enough. It's not the opposite of like, I don't know if there's enough. I don't know if there's enough. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people in business get abundance confused with, well, there's enough for me and everyone else. So it's totally fine if like I'm going to support all these people and I'm going to like watch everything they're doing and like cheer them on, and because there's enough for everyone. Yeah, there's enough for everyone, but abundance is also staying in that mindset. And for me, what that really looked like was focusing on myself and not what everyone else was doing. And so I think that's easy to be like, well, I'm trying really hard to have an abundance mindset, but it's not working. And it's probably because you're watching what everyone else is doing. It's hard to stay abundant if you know everything that's going on in everyone else's businesses and what everyone else is doing, because then you come back and you're comparing it to what you're doing. And to be honest, it also comes back to the whole create more, consume less thing. And I think people get supporting other people confused with having to follow them and watch what everyone else is doing. Supporting someone else could just be like simply, I support you because I'm going to stay in my lane and I want you to stay in your lane so we can both be the best we can be. You can send them good energy. You can send them love. You can buy stuff on their website. I totally do that. I love like supporting other shops. But me and my friend Melissa, one of my really, really close friends, Melissa owns Shop Zoko. It's also an online shop. And I think the funniest thing, but like it just goes to show like how much both of us are always trying to stay in the abundant mindset, is Zoko doesn't follow Lala and Lala doesn't follow Zoko. And Melissa doesn't follow Lala and Lex doesn't follow Zoko. And it has nothing to do with us not supporting each other. We are constantly talking business. We're constantly supporting each other, giving each other advice. But we aren't watching every single thing and following, and because we're both just trying to stay in that mindset. So that's just like a side plug of like abundance can also look like you protecting your mindset, staying in that place where you can like believe that anything's possible and not be comparing and things like that. I don't know. I feel like this is kind of random, but I just think it's a fun way to start off talking about building your dream life or building your dream business or being successful or whatever that means for you. I think it's a fun way to start talking about it just by dream big, make a vision board, start taking like 10, 20 minutes to yourself every single day just to sit with your thoughts and listen to a guided meditation. Like I think that's easier than just meditating on my own in silence. So try that and you'll notice a huge shift in your attitude and just your mindset. To end the episode, I just wanted to tell you a few things that I'm currently working on manifesting this year, and maybe it will give you ideas for you. So these are some things in my business and my personal life. Currently manifesting more celebrities in Lala. And I want to get really specific on exactly who those celebrities are. But that's something I'm for sure manifesting this year. I just think it's like one of the coolest things. It's like two of my favorite things, right? Fashion and pop culture and celebrities. It's like two worlds colliding and it's so freaking cool. Like I can't even explain how cool it feels to me. I want to get Lala verified on Instagram. I want to get a blue check mark. So that's something that I'm manifesting, but also working towards, because you kind of have to have like PR and different like articles and things like that you can submit. So we're working on that behind the scenes also. I'm also manifesting getting Lala and my original designs into some big retailers. And like I said, one of those is happening soon, and I can't share yet, but I'll share as soon as I can. But there's some other ones that I have on my radar and that I'm working towards. Also, personal life, I'm manifesting taking better care of myself and just feeling better. I think that sometimes when we are like I said, the last 6 years, I've built my business and had a baby. And I think some things just go on the back burner, and that's called balance. Balance isn't always like I do all of these things great. It's sometimes I put more into this one and then this one suffers, and then next I'll put more into this one. And that's what balance is looking like for me right now. So I feel like I'm finally, like I said, I'm finally at a place where I can kind of exhale and just not be so uptight and stressed all the time about everything. And so that looks like me taking better care of myself. I've started going to Pilates. I haven't worked out for years, you guys. I'm trying to make like easy, slow steps into eating better and cutting out things that aren't as good for me. I know that if I just go like 0 to 100, it's not going to last, like I talked about in the last episode. So things like that. And I don't know why, but for some reason it feels a lot easier and more inspiring to eat healthy and work out when it's warm outside. So I'm hoping as the sun starts to come out and summer gets closer, I can really like focus on that. Just to be honest, like before I have another baby, which everyone is constantly asking me when I'm going to, before I have another baby, I want to feel so good here, like within myself. And a big part of that is because I want to feel really good while I'm pregnant. And I don't know, like I was really sick when I was pregnant with Ozzy. And I'm sure that's just like something that's going to happen maybe when I'm pregnant, but mentally and just like, I just want to feel so good about who I am, knowing who I am, having hobbies I can focus on when I'm pregnant that aren't just work. I really want to get to like a place where I feel so good physically, mentally, spiritually, all the things before I have another baby, because I know that that's a whole journey it's going to start all over again. The not sleeping and the being sick. And I just want to be in my best place before I enter that phase. So those are some things that I'm currently working towards and manifesting. And I haven't sat down and like really like mapped out what that looks like visually and all of that. So I need to do that soon because it's already March and time goes fast. So I need to do that. I just think it's so fun and it's so powerful. If you have kids, if you're a stay-at-home mom, do it with your kids. Like teach them about vision boards and how it's really powerful for our brains to see those things every day and believe that we're capable of doing anything we want. It's a good lesson to teach your kids. You don't need to get too into it, but I think that's fun. And you could get magazines, or you can just get on Pinterest and look up vibey photos. Another tip I learned from my best friend, Kinsey, is when you're trying to look up like a vibey photo on Pinterest for something specific, type in the word aesthetic at the end. So you could type in healthy girl aesthetic or rich girl aesthetic or whatever. Just put aesthetic at the end of things and you'll see really cute pictures. So that's a helpful tip. Anyways, this podcast felt kind of all over the place, but that's just where my brain is today. So I hope you could follow. Like I said, next week, I'm going to get into the beginnings of Lala, the nitty gritty, and exactly kind of what that looked like, which isn't glamorous at all, but maybe will help you in some way or just give you validation for maybe where you are now. Anyways, you guys, I love you. I'm so excited to tell you all about Taylor Swift next week. And just thank you for listening. Oh, let's go over the reviewers. I almost forgot. I'm so sorry. Okay, if I read your username, DM me your address, your size, and your username on podcasts. I have Estrella Thrift. Estrella Thrift. I think it's Estrella Thrift. Moo MOOO07, M Braith 3, Nancy Pants, Schwaylor, SHHWAYLOR, Riley Page Fo, F-O, Hannah Schwendman, I hope I'm saying these right, Amester Smith, and Shayna. If I read your username, DM me. I'm going to send you a podcast crew. And if you haven't left a review yet, go ahead and leave one and then send me a screenshot. They usually take like a day or two to show up on Apple Podcasts. So I've also been checking there. Anyways, you guys, I love you. Thank you. Here's to having a good week and staying in our magic, protecting that magic, and doing whatever the hell we want. I love you so much. Bye.